Okay. Hey guys, long time no see. Today we have an interesting topic and it's...
combating nerves for traveling abroad / studying abroad and just generally going abroad.
Yes. So we have a list of ideas of what we thought might help you go abroad. Because maybe you're more stressed about yourself going abroad, or maybe you're younger, like a high school student. Maybe your family's not too sure you should go abroad. So we have a list of some ideas to help you persuade others or yourself. Alright, so let's start.
Yes. The very first thing and one of the most important things is to do the research. Research the country that you want to go to, learn about the food, learn about the customs, learn about the language and that sort of thing, so that you're more familiar, and that will help you be less nervous because you know what you're getting yourself into, when you want to go. And if you're younger and you want to ask your family for permission to let you go, if you know the information, maybe they will be more inclined to let you go because it shows that you really want to and you really care to look it up.
Yeah, so you can find like travel books like Barnes and Nobles or your library, or you can find a whole bunch of vlogs like we do. Like we're doing mainly about Japan, but you can probably find some about France or Spain or anywhere. Yeah. So just brush up on some stuff like that. Not only will like inform you of what to do or what not to do, but also get you really excited to go.
Yes, that's true. And excitement is one of the most important things to get rid of the nervousness, because that's kind of what fuels your drive to want to go.
Yeah. The next one is budget. After you've done your research and you've decided, I'm going to go to this place, then it's time to budget. Because let's say you go to Japan versus maybe Taiwan or Vietnam, maybe you don't have to save as much money if you have a tighter budget to go to that country. Or either way, you want to know how much the currency is or how it works in that country. So you just feel a little bit more secure financially when you're going. I feel like if maybe you're stressful about going to places, maybe talking to people, that might be one thing. But if you're more like nervous about money, that's a whole different kind of nervousness. But if you feel confident in that aspect, I think everything else will go smooth.
Yes, I definitely agree. Like if you have a budget, that will kind of build the excitement more, because you have your budget, you've done the research, you know where you want to go, and then you look at your budget and you see, yes, I can actually go to these places, I can shop this much, and that makes you just want to go even more. So budgeting is very important.
Yep. And I mentioned it a little bit. The next one you want to do is maybe look up the language.
Yes, I came to Japan. I didn't really know, I didn't know anything about the language, and so what I did when I was still in the States was I studied the alphabet and how to just read it. Of course, that's different for other languages. I guess if you're thinking of going to somewhere where they speak Spanish or French, I would recommend maybe just learning some of the general greetings, like how to ask a question, like where is this, how much is this, certain just everyday simple questions.
Small talk.
Yeah, small talk, yes. That will help you be less nervous about the language and more comfortable to go.
Yes.
And also I think consider that there's a lot of people like me that have gone to countries where they didn't know the language and they were terrified. I was terrified, and they made it out just fine. Luckily, if you are from an English-speaking country, English is so widespread that often that's the language that connects people. So we're very, very lucky in that sense. You often see a lot of English on signs. It's not impossible. It's a little bit stressful, but it's definitely not impossible if you do the research and just kind of like study a little bit.
Yeah. So just greetings will make people feel comfortable around you, like, saying hello in their language. The next thing, we're going to go with high schoolers. Because it'll be a little bit harder for high schoolers just to go abroad unless you have some kind of great income coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, for high schoolers, the way I first went abroad was in my school. I got selected as a exchange student for 1 month summer excursion. I entered an essay contest and I won for my school. So everything was paid for, like the flight. I got to be placed in a homestay, so I had a host family. They were very generous, so they kind of paid for everything, the food, the transportation. So the money my parents did give me when I went over there was all for just money to spend on souvenirs, on desserts. It's just a blast. So for high schoolers, I would look for contests for your sponsored by your school or maybe your city if it has like a exchange sister program or something like that. do some research, and you never know, you might be able to go that way. And the good thing about going about that way is, since you're still a high schooler, maybe under 18, you might get placed with a homestay and you get a host family, and that would definitely reassure yourself and your parents that you're not just going to be running around by yourself, have some kind of supervision. But yeah.
Yeah, and one of the really cool things, I have done a homestay before, not like Raf though, because I stayed with a woman that had no children, but Raf stayed with a family that did have kids, and he still talks to his host sister. So you make a lot of really cool friends. When I was in high school, I didn't do one, but my the language department, the Spanish department, they had it was a 2 or 3 week summer just trip. It wasn't studying abroad. It was just a trip that they took, and it must have been like $1,000. It was actually pretty reasonably priced. I would recommend, if you're in high school, go and talk to your counselor, or to ask about any potential programs. Often they know about some that maybe they don't tell everyone, or maybe only a few people know. Definitely talk to your language teachers. Maybe they
That's a good idea.
they want to make a trip or take the students on a trip, but maybe they think, oh, no one's interested. But if you show interest, maybe they will take the extra steps and figure out a way to do it. So
Yeah. And so continue a little bit on with the university talk. If you're in your university, it's maybe bigger, or maybe they just have a really nice travel exchange program. Just go talk to them. Our school had like 1 month summer excursions, half-year excursions, full years, and 2 years sometimes.
Yeah.
So just talk to them. They've already done all the research pretty much. You just got to receive it and then review it and see if you feel comfortable. If you're able to financially, pay it, that's a different thing. But they've done already all the research. You're going to be in a school setting, so you should be comfortable there. Usually they'll have some English staff to, communicate with you, maybe if you're feeling ill or maybe like homesickness or whatever. So, your study program at your university would really be a big help.
Yes, and I think once you're a university student, that's when you have the biggest opportunity to study abroad. Because like Raf said, there are a ton of programs, all the way from like short 1 week things to like 2 year things. It's very easy. And if you're worried about money, I know that financial aid at the university that we went to would cover that, like traveling abroad, if financial aid is something that you received. But there's scholarships that you can apply for if you're very, very serious about it. Of course, you can always take out loans. That's always a little bit riskier. But it's always possible. Like you said, talk to your counselors, talk to a study abroad representative.
Your language department.
Language department. They know all the facts, and often they'll even know about scholarships and such like that.
And let's say you don't want to go through your university. You just want to go for fun on your own. While you're at school, maybe join some clubs that you're interested of, like maybe the Asian club or the Latin American club, or maybe just build a nice knit of bonds with friends, and maybe you guys, 2, 3, 4 people, all go together to that country. Maybe that's another safety net you guys have. You guys all go together. Y'all. Maybe I'm saying y'all, like I'm back in the South. But yeah, everyone's together. You guys can, communicate with each other. Maybe one person's really good at listening. Maybe someone speaks really good in that language. Maybe someone has great common sense. I don't know.
Yeah, you can work together.
Yeah.
And if you have a group that definitely, it makes you feel safer. And then if you're not really into, following a set schedule, which is something that you'd have to do if you study abroad with your school. You probably have to do what they say a lot of the time, except for maybe on the weekends. So you can go alone, and that will definitely ease that sort of stress that you don't want.
Yeah, and if you guys just go with a group of friends, you guys can really go to your specific things that you're interested in. If it's like anime or foreign sports or sumo, like I don't know if a school will take you to a sumo event, but maybe you have some friends like, hey, we got to check out the sumos and the ninjas. Let's go,
Yeah. Kind of going off of what he said, go to the clubs where you want to meet people from other countries. Maybe you can't go on a trip with those people, but maybe you can one day visit them, and that it creates a really good safety net. Like we have friends from college that are Japanese that we have seen and visited, and it's always really nice because they can take you places that maybe you never even considered. They can help you if you don't know how to communicate that well. They can definitely be a safety net if you need help. So yeah, it's always really good to talk to people from other countries and make friends, and you can visit each other.
Yeah, so we have alumni that live in this country, so we meet up with some of them every once in a while. And we also have some Japanese exchange students that were in our university that we meet, also in Japan. So we also have that link, if we ever in trouble, maybe ask them for some help,
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the last thing we want to tie in is smartphones. Smartphones are pretty much today's like essential item to take with you anywhere you go. Even if you're not going abroad, even in your own country, you need your smartphone just to call out for help or directions or whatever, really. But yeah, smartphones.
Yeah, it's crazy how much you can do with with all the apps that they've got. Just the apps that we use. You can use Google Maps for directions. I know in Japan, I don't know about other countries, but in Japan, Google Maps is essential and great just for looking up the train schedules, planning, your trip to Tokyo. It's so great. Of course, Google Translate, it has a speak function where you can hold it up to a person and they can speak into it and they will translate it. There's so many apps that you can use. What apps do you use?
Pretty much Google Translate, Google Maps are the main two I will use. That's about it, really.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what I use. I know I have a friend who is really terrified of earthquakes here. They have them here and maybe not in all the countries. And she has, it's an earthquake app that lets her know, like how big it was, if there are any sort of extra concerns like tsunami warnings or weather warnings besides that. So it's really useful.
But yeah, those are just a couple of ideas that we could think of. I don't know if you have any other suggestions. If you do, just type those down below. I'm pretty sure everyone would like some ideas to help them be more relaxed about going abroad.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. We're sorry that we haven't uploaded anything in a really long time. We did have a video ready and I accidentally deleted it. I'm sorry. And then we got a little lazy, so I apologize. But hopefully we'll be back on track.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys around.
See you.
Peace.
Bye.